Hello, hello. I'm Eileen, the Mellow Astrologer, and I wanted to let you know that the planet Venus just moved into the sign of Gemini tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And Venus is the planet of love and pleasure and money. And when she's in the sign of Gemini, which is a very flirtatious, friendly, intellectual sign, there can be a lot more movement in our lives. We are socializing more, and we're looking for situations and experiences that are more fast-paced and upbeat than the previous energy of Venus and Taurus, where she was for the last 3 weeks. Taurus is much more slow-moving and sensual and delights in like the hedonistic pleasures, whereas Venus in Gemini wants to be on the move and it definitely doesn't want to commit. So if you just met a new person, talk, and see what happens over the next 3 weeks before you make any major decisions. It's much better to make an important decision around love when Venus is in Cancer than when Venus is in Gemini, because the inherent nature of Gemini is that it's of two minds. It's very dualistic and it is excessively indecisive. So when the planet of love is in the sign of indecision, you can imagine what types of things might occur. It doesn't mean you don't date or you don't keep seeing that person. It just means you don't make any major decisions or commitments around it. And in fact, now is the perfect time to have very stimulating and even titillating conversation with somebody that you're totally into. Now, if you're single and you have no intention of dating, that's fine. Focus on the other aspects that Venus represents, which is our self-worth, our values, and our finances. You can see why Venus would be a planet that represents all of those things, because our ability to generate income for ourselves is often intimately connected to how we feel about ourselves. So while Venus is in Gemini, if you're having any thoughts or feelings around your self-worth and self-love, if they've been a little bit low, or if you were already exploring them because Venus has been in the sign of Taurus, and Taurus actually rules Venus rules the sign of Taurus, and therefore Taurus is also about self-love, self-worth, values, money, finances. So we're continuing with those themes as Venus moves into Gemini, but they're taking on an intellectual flavor. So now's the good time to journal more about that and to even like project manage a little bit. Gemini is not about project management, but when Venus is in Gemini, there's more, it wants more intellectual stimulation. It wants to move quicker. So engage in activities that satisfy that need for adventure, okay? And what I mean by this is if you're in a spiritual practice and you're thinking about your self-worth and your values and money, then engage in activities that are much more stimulating. So now is a good time to take a webinar or to do physical activities around your meditative practice, around your self-inquiry. Also, consider the fact that Gemini energy, more than anything, really wants to be integrating its experiences of life. So the Taurian archetype is about self-sufficiency. The Gemini archetype is about participating in its immediate environment, integrating that information, knowing how to communicate effectively within its environment, and reflecting on its own perceptions of life. Okay, so we ingest information, we make judgments about that, and then we're projecting our judgments back into the environment. So Mercury-Gemini has a very it's a crucial archetype in terms of how we engage socially through life and with others. And that, of course, is why Gemini is such a friendly sign, because it is learning about itself through relationship with others, because in our relationship with others, we are gaining access to different perspectives and information. So as Venus is in the sign of Gemini, you could find yourself around people, friends, colleagues, anyone really, who is helping you expand your mind and your perceptions about things. And so have as many conversations as you can. Have deep conversations with people or superficial conversations with people, because Gemini is much more about superficiality than deep conversations. But you could be, especially like I was mentioning with the folks who are on a spiritual path and thinking about their self-worth and self-values, now would be a good time to be having conversations with people about that. Or now is an excellent time to call me as an astrologer, because Gemini is the Mercury is the planet that rules Gemini, and Mercury is the ancient ruler of astrology. So now would be a really good time to have your astrology looked at around those themes. Later in the month, we do have Mercury going retrograde. Mercury is already in the sign of Gemini, and that happens May 29th. On May 20th, the sun moves into Gemini, and we already have the north node of the moon, which is actually just a mathematical calculation and not a celestial body. The north node has been in the sign of Gemini for quite a while now. I believe about a year. Don't quote me on that. So we will have the north node in Gemini, the sun, Venus, and Mercury in Gemini. So lots and lots of Gemini energy. We're going to see a shift of the energy as we enter late spring and early summer, which is great because we've all been in this COVID funk. We need to have some fun, and I think that we will. There will be a lot of social activity happening, especially when Venus and Mars both occupy the sign of Leo, which begins later in June 26th, that starts. So I'm going to do another video that goes over all of these things, but I just wanted to focus first of all on that Venus and Gemini. So if you have questions, let me know. Please, please, please ask me questions. I love them. And subscribe to my YouTube channel as well, please. And then you get all the alerts for when these videos go out. You don't miss anything important. Remember, Venus is in Gemini for only 3 weeks, so May 8th through June 2nd. All right, my friends, have a lovely day. Ciao, ciao.